Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and we're at the release of the third set of the Dragon Ball Super card game Fusion World, and to commemorate that, I did want to do a tier list with my thoughts going on into this new meta. I know I haven't made a lot of content for Fusion World leading up to this, and I did have some time set aside, but between moving, some traveling for Gen Con, and also a big restriction list came out for One Piece like the beginning of this week, I just wasn't able to divert, I wasn't able to put as much resources and time into this as I wanted to, so I do apologize on that, but I did want to make a tier list on my thoughts, and I did spend a good amount of time during this week testing and stuff. I just couldn't make a video, and I just wasn't able to do that. So my apologies for being a little bit late on that side, but I do want to say that also my website has been updated on the deck builder side for all of FB03 and also the Black Star deck, the Bardock one. So you guys can check out all the cards, and in the next 24 hours ish of this video coming out, we should have it updated to be able to import into the client and also export. I think you should be able to export already, but that's a resource for you guys there. And I will also be releasing some deck lists that I've been working on in the next couple of days. They're not really in a spot right now that I feel 100% confident with. I want to do some more testing, and I'd rather delay the video a couple of days and have some deck lists that I'm confident with than just kind of making some builds and to kind of meet a deadline that, you know, I've put myself just an arbitrary deadline. So those will be coming out as well. But if you guys have some deck lists you're happy about, let me know. I'd love to see them and see where your guys' heads are for those. But we will be supporting that. And we're going to have some tournaments the next couple of weeks. I'll make sure to update it on the website and we'll get that. But without tournament data, without a lot of testing, and with everything, I did still want to put some of my thoughts out. I've played some games on this meta. I'm not saying I haven't done any testing, but I can always play more, and I've been honestly enjoying some of the games that I've been seeing so far for this one. So we are going to go through tiers. Are top tiers, so these are decks that I would expect to top most events and or likely win. Tier 1.5, I could see it win the occasional one and top occasionally, but not something I would be too surprised if it didn't top during one of the weeks. Playable is like occasionally top, but I wouldn't expect it. I'd be surprised for winning. Unlikely, I would be surprised if it topped in the first place, and definitely would not expect it to win. And then very unlikely is I would not expect it. I'd be mildly surprised if someone brought it at a tournament kind of thing. So it's only these three leaders right now for the very unlikely, and I just kind of put them there out of the way. I wish I could play cooler. I really like the leader and like the kind of cool aggression value game he plays, but it's just not in a spot right now that I'm super happy with. And then Ginyu did get some new stuff, but I think Frieza's still like the better leader for his stuff. And then Goku, I think he's still good. And like we got some more targets for his effect, but the fact that most other leaders do what he does better, I think is very impactful as well. So we're going to go through that. We're going to test out, or we're going to talk about the newer stuff first too. We're going to start with the new leaders and the new color too, which I will say. So we got Bardock from the Star deck, and we have Son Goku GT and from the set itself. And looking at the cards that we got, I was a little bit afraid that we might be in like a top Q, part 2 situation, and we still might be if I'm being super honest about it. But I do think that it's from what I've seen, it's been balanced out a little bit. You do get some good swarming, but you do kind of lose momentum in the late game sometimes. You just have like a really, really good mid game, but if you're not able to close it out, you have a hard time doing so. So I think that's fair. You do get like a lot of energy manipulation in the fact with your energy marker, being able to get it back and getting all the value from it as well. But without that, you're not doing much. You are still kind of you mildly depend on going second. I feel like, at least in the Son Goku GT version, just because that free energy marker helps a lot. And half their cards kind of like help procure it as well. So if I'm looking at these two though, and what they are, I think Bardock is neat, but he's a little bit dependent on his Bardock crew archetype. So because of that, and since the card pool is pretty shallow for it, I think he can only be so consistent with it. I still think he's good, and I still like playing with him, but I don't think he's as good as Son Goku GT. It's just Son Goku GT is just really generic. He's just a good generic leader for the color, and doesn't really care outside of just getting energy markers. So I think that's solid for what he wants to do. But I still like Bardock. I still want to do some testing with it. I just haven't been able to do as much as I want to. So, but I do think it's very good. I don't know if I think it's the best deck right now. and we'll see how popular it is in general. But I think Son Goku GT is in a mildly good spot. There's this weird thing when you introduce like a new archetype into a game, and by archetype I mean like mechanic, or in this case a color. It's either like too good and it sees too much play, or it's not good enough and it sees no play. It's really hard to hit that sweet spot to like organically introduce it into the metagame. And so far I think black has been very strong, but nothing so far like too strong that it can't exist anymore. So it pushes like it doesn't seem like the same like hype that Top Q got on release. So but we'll see if that changes. But this is where I'm putting these two guys right here. So going for the rest of our set, we do have 4 other leaders. We've got the Jiren, we've got the Buu, we've got the Piccolo, as well as the new Goku here. So one for each color. Jiren itself, I think I'm going to put in 1.5. He's got some really cool mechanics. He's a 25k base leader, which is our first one for red on the defense. Being able to do that is really nice. And he's got this cool thing with his 4-drop. So the only thing about this deck is that you're really reliant on your 4-drop being around, which it does have like some mild protection. But if you're playing against something that is able to remove it without KOing it, or being able to, I don't know, it just kind of is rough in a lot of ways. But if you're able to establish a couple of them on the board, you legitimately can take damage, which is really, really funny. And being able to, since the mechanic works is that your leader on the Awakened side can only take damage once per battle, and then your 4-drop takes damage and then heals 1, which means that you can't take damage anymore, which is really funny. So, and then you get to draw a card, right? You also get to draw a card from your leader as well. Just auto, every time you take a damage, you get to draw a card, which is kind of silly. So in general, he's got some really cool mechanic. Like he can be kind of controlling in a different way if you're able to set it up. But I do think like blue can remove the Jirens pretty easy, as well as like red can just minus them away too. But I think he's really neat. I want to do some more testing with it, and he's got some cool stuff. Next up, we've got blue. So honestly, this Goku, he's kind of got like a really quirky archetype. I'm going to say quirky now. I'm sure that if it gets too good, it's going to be obnoxious. But the fact that you have the Satan City archetype being able to rearrange the top of your deck, being able to play stuff off the top of your deck, I think it actually gets a lot of value, like an obnoxious amount of value almost. So I do think the 4-drop Goku or Son Gohan that you get with it, being able to just on play bottom deck 2-3 costs or less is pretty good. It gets a lot of removal, a lot of value, and then it's a 30k body. I do think it is really balanced out by the fact that it has no counter or no combo in this game. So because of that, you do have this issue where there's a lot of cards you want to run, but you don't have they don't have combo with it. So that is a balance for this. But I'm sure like we're gonna find there's eventually going to be a brew that's just super strong, that's very consistent with it, and I can see this do very good. But from my experience, this is the deck that I've been testing out the most, and it feels very good when you're able to get your pieces set up. So it's kind of like a control deck. You never really want to take damage. You're okay, at least from my testing, to never awaken because you have ways to manipulate the top of your deck anyways. But yeah, the deck seems really, really good when it's able to kind of go off. So, and then if you are on the defense side, you become 30k once per turn as long as you keep your stage up and or your field up, and it just feels really good. It feels like stupid good when it gets set up. So we're going to put that there. The other two leaders, we've got Piccolo, which I'm going to put in playable. And I haven't done as much testing for this guy as I really wanted to. He seems really, really unique and for what he does. Being able to kind of have like this combo OTK that I don't think has really been realized in this game before, being able to like restand when it does damage, and he has these effects that give him, plus power for the turn, so it can be really scary. It's the closest that we've gone to like giving a leader double strike in this game, which I think eventually they might do, and then it's going to be maybe problematic, but I like what he does, and it breaks the mold for like the other green decks, because every other green deck in this game is really just go up to Broly and hope you get there, where this one finally kind of does something different, which is really neat. So I don't know if it's going to be good different or just bad different. I'm just kind of putting in this middleware. I do think this could be a deck that if you find out the right build for it, it does exponentially better when we figure it out. But until then, I'm just going to keep it in playable right here in the middle. And then Majin Buu, I don't super like this leader. I think it's a little bit clunky for what it does. Maybe people are able to find out how it works, but not me right now. I don't think so. So I'm going to put unlikely. It's got some cool cards. We got Barrier in this card game, which is something, but I think he's just neat, but I don't have a lot of faith in him right now. So if you guys got a good build that you like with it, please let me know. I'd love to see it. I'd love to test it out, but not right there. I haven't really felt it yet. So there it is. All right, going to the rest, we can just kind of go by color. So we can start with red real quick. But for red, we've got our other 3 leaders. Honestly, I think Beerus is still top tier, if I'm going to be really honest. I think Beerus had a really good run at the end of FB02, especially since with Goku out of the way. It's just the best removal deck in the game, I feel like. It really benefited from the new rules for going first. We got some new support for the deck, including like a 3-drop Beerus that plays the 5-drop Beerus. I don't know if it's good, but it is support for the deck, so that's kind of nice. And it just kind of depends on that. We do also have like the new Vegeta. Red got some really good like generic tools that Beerus can definitely take advantage of, and we're definitely still like one of the better tournament power leaders to run like the tournament power archetype. So I think that's something that's worth mentioning for the deck. Our removal effect just bypasses a lot. I think Bandai is kind of starting to notice this a little bit, where instead of like giving something minus power, I've seen more and more effects that just KO things that have X or less power, instead of just doing the straight minusing. But we'll see if that's true or not. But Beerus being able to do that in this game, especially compared to One Piece, where if something has 0 power, it stays around. This game, it just being removed from the field just hurts a lot. So it's very good for getting rid of like Jiren and other protection-based effects, because it's a game mechanic. You can never, unless a card just says my power can't be reduced, Beerus can literally just not interact with it. Nothing can protect what Beerus and the cards that you do with it. So I think Beerus is still good, and we're gonna leave it right up there. For the rest of the red, U7 Goku's probably in the tier in the middle, and then playable for Starter Coup. I really like Starter Coup. It honestly reminds me of like Pan from Dragon Ball Masters, but we just don't have, I feel like, a lot to take advantage of it. And I think there's more and more decks are just relying on removal. Specifically, like Blue's really good at it right now, and like this Beerus. And so because of that, it's hard to get value from the card on both turns, unfortunately. So I'm going to put it there. And then we got some more aggro tools, right? We can still be aggressive with this guy. I might be overrating him. He might still be down and playable, but I'm just going to leave him in this tier 1.5. So we'll see. Next up, we've got some blue leaders. So honestly, I think Blue's in kind of a good spot. This might be the set where 1-drop Pilaf gets hit in some regard, because man, that card is good. They just made a bunch more 1-drop Earthlings in this set, and they made kind of an entire archetype around it. So yeah, Pilaf, and also like a 2-cost 20k that attacks and can get Pilaf back. It's kind of absurd how much recursion that Blue has right now. So because of that, I think that Vegeta, if this Goku's not the best leader, Vegeta I think is very strong. Zamasu, honestly, I'm going to put Vegeta like at the top. I'm going to put probably Zamasu like in the middle here, but I do think they both do really great. Blue also kind of plays this game now where, because their entire thing is at being 7 or less cards in hand, they just defend their life really, really early, and they have a lot of like late game value from Pilaf looping stuff, from playing 6-drop Goku Black, and all of that. You can just like sustain the entire game and do that. So I think that's like the play style that I've been playing with Blue a little bit more, and the fact that we can have like this 6-drop Goku Black that's able to use the effect and bounce back, or play out the 4-drop Goku or Son Gohan. My goodness, 6-drop Goku Black, 4 drops on Gohan, bottom deck 2-3 drops. If we have like the Vegito, that bottom deck stuff, or that reduced cost of stuff, you bottom deck 2-4. Like being able to have like a scythe or a sinister sickle on a 4-drop body that's a 30k is kind of good for this. We also have recursion with Gotenks, since we do have the Mighty Mask, which is both characters, and it's a 10k, so that's really helpful for getting that recursion too. There's just like a lot of good tools and things that I think Blue is going to get like maybe a little bit too much value off its plays off the set. So we'll see. I think Goku can take advantage of it more. Vegeta is definitely a variant of like, it's in between like control and aggro, and then Zamasu is obviously like the big control deck version of it too. So I also do want to mention, so we got Goku Black, who's combo, and we also have Trunks. I don't feel like there's a good play for Trunks right now. I feel like we did get like another 2-drop that likes to put itself on the bottom of the deck, so we get that recursion back. But I just haven't found a build for this that I feel is like any better than what Vegeta or Zamasu can build. And then Goku Black, since we are like a combo deck and we're just like really particular, I don't think we got like any support for it directly. Once this deck builds like a Zamasu, a card named Goku Black or Zamasu or whatever that can take cards from your own life so you can get to 4, you're in a good spot. But since I think Blue is in like this really defensive value grindy game, I don't think Goku Black really fits what these new cards are kind of doing. So, the generically being able to get Goku Black out for 6, or even just for 4 energy or even 5, doesn't really matter when you have to lose all these resources to do so. I think that Blue's just been doing better by just consistently staying at a high life total, being able to play 6-drop Goku Black on curve, safely, because you know that you're not going to lose on the next turn. And then if your opponent can't get rid of it, then you get to just keep getting the rewards for it. So I think that's been more powerful. And but we'll see. I'm a big fan of Goku Black, but I'm not sure if this is the meta for it right now. All right, moving to green. I think 17-18 is still like the best green deck, and maybe like just the 4-drop. The 4-drop's still really good. I don't know what to say. It's just fantastic. I think it's the best deck that can be aggressive and fight for board while still also ramping up their own stuff. So into this new meta, I think it's still just like one of the better decks from the end of set 2 that's going to continue to do well, and I think it's going to be in a good spot for him from that side. So I'm going to put it up there. Broly I think is still good, but I think that we'd rather play 17-18 in more spots. More and more leaders I feel like can, a 25k leader on release was really strong. I think more decks are finding ways to mitigate the advantage for that, and also put a lot of pressure. I think Broly has a real hard issue about facing Blue unless they're like using their cells, I guess. But I feel like based on my own experiences, like when Blue can just be really defensively grindy, keep their bodies on the board, and just get a lot of value as well, I think Broly kind of loses that game, because it just kind of depended on your opponent being down to like 3 life and then dropping Broly and then immediately presenting game on the next turn. And Broly was not removable 8-drop, and you likely would play another one. So 4 45k swings at 3 life is pretty rough. But I don't feel like that happens as much anymore. So we'll see if Broly's how present he is. I still think he's a good leader, but I think Blue has a chance to just be a little bit better in this format. So we'll see. For the rest of our green, we also have Son Gohan Childhood. I'm just going to put him in playable. I don't think he really got anything. I guess he got some more Gokus, but I just don't think he's as proactive as times. If you're able to keep the 5-drop around, you're doing good, but it's getting increasingly harder to do so, I think, with every set. So we'll see if he's present. I don't think he's going to be as present as maybe the other 2 green leaders. And then Cell, my boy, I love this guy. He is probably not the best. You get some like neat things, right? You get like the new Aandroidd 17 that refreshes a field so you can use your cell game arenas twice in 1 turn. That's cool. That's about it. That's really we have like a new 8-drop and like the 5-drop, but I don't think they're great based off my testing. They could be good, but I haven't been convinced on it. So I really like Cell as a character. I don't think this leader is it, but we'll see from there. And then lastly, we've got Yellow. When we have, I'm honestly just going to put them in the same spots. I think Frieza kind of loses value when Blue is as present as it is. Being able to bottom deck your opponent's cards on curve like that is pretty tough. The fact that Blue just has so much good removal cards for what you're trying to do is upsetting. And I don't feel like Blue is even affected by the stun as much as it used to be. So I think Frieza is still good. I also think Vegeta is really good too. I don't know. This is my spice. Is Vegeta going to be better than Frieza in this set? Vegeta got a bunch of new cards that let you do things with your energy at the end of your turn, so that's kind of nice. Like we can be a 25k base leader by paying 1, or some silly stuff like that. So maybe Vegeta got a little bit better. I'll be spicy with it. We'll see. I really don't. We'll put Frieza like way at the top there. We'll put him way at the top there. I almost want to just make like a Frieza tier. I don't know. You guys are gonna take a screenshot of this and be like, oh, look at Eggman. He thinks that Broly's just kind of good. I don't know. It's whatever. But yeah, this is kind of where my thoughts are for this meta. Generally, though, I think there are a lot of decks that are great. I do think that there are some decks that are, at least day one, a little bit overtuned or overrepresented a little bit, but I would not in any confidence say any of these decks are tier 0 at this point, whereas at this point in release for FB02, i.e. day one, it was very clear to, I think, most people that Top Coup was really great and maybe breaking this game. So far, we haven't found that in set 3. So if that's a known fact, then I don't know it. If it's probably a closely guarded secret of what the secret good deck in this format. But honestly, there's a lot of decks that I want to keep playing and testing. I would say an intimidating amount right now, but it's been fun. It's been a good amount of meta, and I'm really looking forward to seeing our first couple of results and seeing what actually does well too. So that's going to be it for this one. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what your tier lists are looking like. These aren't most of these placements I wouldn't die on a hill for. So please don't be like. Just be civil. If you think something's wrong, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.